evening. My name is Raymond Carrillo, Bridgeport resident. My question to the candidates tonight concerns open government. We are more and more becoming a freedom of information country. Our protections of the freedom of the individual rest largely with the light of day being shown into all corners of government so that the people for whom government exists may know the minds of our elected representatives and may make informed decisions. In this regard, what is your highest definition of open government? And what ways, if any, has Bridgeport not lived up to this definition? And what would you do to bring up the standard of open government in Bridgeport? Thank you.
Mr. Caruso.
When the people of this city have open, completely open and unfettered access to its government and to its records. One example is Joe Ganim. If you all recall trying to get the cell phone records. This is a cell phone that was purchased by the people of the city and they couldn't get access to the records. Maybe if we got those records sooner, we could have stopped a major scandal in the city. It's just like with John Fabrizi with his illegal use of cocaine. If you recall, we were trying to get records because apparently he used a cell phone in the act of that crime in a city vehicle. Those records should be open to the public. As mayor, my first day in office, I will sign an executive order that all records will be open and fully accessible to the people of the city. No longer will you have to go to the State Freedom of Information Commission and fight with the city attorney who you pay for through your taxes, who is trying to stop you to get that information.
Mr. Finch, 60 seconds, please.
I'd like to remind everyone here that my opponent isn't running against Mayor Fabrizi or Mayor Ganim. He's running against Bill Finch. He's running against Bill Finch. He's running against, please don't interrupt. He's running against Bill Finch. I'm my own man. I've been more of a reformer than anybody in this race. I started Freedom of Information complaints, and it's a great question. Justice Brandeis said that sunlight is the best disinfectant. I wholeheartedly agree. When I ran the contracts committee at the city council, I always allowed the public to speak, despite the fact that it's against city council rules, which I don't agree with. I've always stood up for freedom of information. I had a complaint against the University of Connecticut when I was student government president, and it changed the law of this land to have a major exemption stopped on preliminary drafts and notes. I know FOI, and I'll be your toughest battler to make sure this government is more open than any administration ever, because I'm an ethical person.
Mr. Caruso, rebuttal.
Mr. Finch is quick to agree to litany of endorsements. I think he left one out, so I want to help him. Today, front page of the Connecticut Post, Mayor Fabrizi publicly endorsed the candidacy of Bill Finch. It's just more of the same. You see, it's the mask that covers the misdeeds and self-preservation. I might add, you should ask Mr. Del Rios and Mr. Joel, whose houses Mr. Finch tore down on the East End to build a company that never came to Bridgeport. And when they tried to get access to those records, they were stopped from gaining those access. They lost their houses, and today there's no factory that Mr. Finch was pushing as head of Betco Corporation.
Mr. Finch, 30 seconds, please.
I don't know. I guess I was visiting a mirage then when I went to All Phase Steel and saw 100 Bridgeport people working, paying taxes on the factory that I helped get on those sites. We have to deal with the facts. We have to deal with reality. Bridgeport is on the verge of tremendous growth and great things. And if we want to elect negativity, we can go in one direction. If we want to elect positivity and truthfulness, I ask for your vote on September 11th. Thank you.
All right, our next question, please. And then we'll go to Mr. Finch for his response first.